When a man is truly into you, one of the first and most undeniable signs is the way his entire demeanor shifts the moment you enter the room. It's not something he plans, it's not calculated, it's an involuntary response, something almost primal. You might not even notice it right away unless you're paying close attention, but it's there and it speaks volume. His body reacts before his mouth ever does. Maybe his shoulders lift, his posture straightens, his face lights up in a way that feels natural, even effortless. That's not coincidence. That's attraction surfacing before he even has time to filter it. You see, attraction doesn't knock politely. It barges in and rearranges the atmosphere. And one of the clearest signs is that boost of energy he suddenly gives off the second he sees you. You'll notice how he suddenly becomes more animated, more engaged with his surroundings, but mostly with you. If he was in a group talking casually, maybe even disinterested, he'll now seem more focused, more alert, like the energy in the room just shifted. That's because for him it did. Your presence changes his state, even if nothing else around him has changed. It's like you walked in and flicked a switch in his brain without touching a thing. There's a unique kind of eye contact he gives you. It lingers just a moment longer than necessary, not so long that it feels intense or uncomfortable, but long enough for you to wonder if it meant something. It did. That lingering look is a man's way of tuning the world out for a split second just to register you. And even if he quickly looks away, you can often catch the hint of a smile or a look that says, "I noticed you." If you watch closely, you might catch him doing what's called a double take. He sees you once, looks away, then can't help but look again. That's not by accident. That second glance is reflexive. It's his brain saying, "Wait, her." And this reaction usually has nothing to do with what you're wearing or whether you're trying to get attention. It's about who you are to him. That emotional pull he feels when you're around overrides logic. That's what makes it so genuine. He'll also start to adjust himself, fix his hair, adjust his shirt, maybe subtly check his reflection in his phone or a nearby window. These grooming gestures are not about vanity. They're subconscious cues that he suddenly wants to present the best version of himself. It's what people do when they feel watched by someone they care about impressing. He may not even realize he's doing it. And here's something even deeper. A man who lights up when you walk in the room isn't just reacting to your looks, he's responding to how you make him feel. Maybe you represent warmth, safety, excitement. Maybe he's drawn to your energy, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak. Whatever it is, it's compelling enough that his body responds before his words catch up. You might also notice his tone change when he talks to you versus others. Softer, more playful, maybe more curious. He becomes more interested in connection. Even if he's a confident guy, there's a nervous energy underneath, like he's suddenly more aware of himself, more invested in the impression he's making. It's not performance, it's vulnerability. These reactions aren't things you can script. They don't show up for everyone. They only surface when someone makes an impact, when someone matters, and when a man is genuinely into you. The moment you walk in, it shows, even if he doesn't say a word. When a man is drawn to you, one of the ways that attraction leaks out without him even realizing it is through physical contact. Not the obvious, over-the-top kind. I'm talking about those subtle, casual touches that seem almost accidental but are anything but. They're intentional in the most unconscious way. When a guy is into you, he'll find little reasons to close the gap, to breach that invisible barrier of personal space, not aggressively, not inappropriately, but in a way that feels natural, playful, even comforting. You'll notice it when he laughs at something you said and lightly touches your arm, or when the two of you are sitting side by side and his knee bumps yours and doesn't quite move away. He might place a guiding hand on your lower back when you're walking through a crowd, or let his fingers graze yours as you pass something to him. These moments often pass in a blink, but they leave a trace. You feel it, and the reason you feel it is because he feels it. Touch is one of the most ancient forms of communication. It bypasses language. And in romantic or flirty situations, it becomes a kind of testing ground, a way of seeing how the other person responds. Does she pull away? Does she linger? Does she respond in kind? Whether he realizes it or not, a man who finds little excuses to touch you is looking for connection, not just contact. What's interesting is that men who aren't usually touchy with others will behave differently around someone they're drawn to. So if you see a guy who's generally reserved but seems to accidentally brush against you more than once, that's not random. That's his attraction leaking through the cracks in his self-control. He may not feel confident enough to say what he feels directly, but his body says it for him. These small touches are also a way of signaling presence. It's a nonverbal, hey, I see you, I'm here with you. It's an anchoring technique, subtle yet powerful. He might use it to emphasize a joke, to punctuate a compliment, or to create a private moment between the two of you, even in a room full of people. Now, it's important to note, when a man is genuinely interested, these touches won't feel invasive, they won't make you shrink back, because when attraction is mutual, that physical connection feels electric, but also respectful. That's the difference between a man who's just being flirty for fun and one who's emotionally invested. He's not trying to take something from you. He's trying to build something with you, moment by moment, touch by touch. Even when he's not initiating touch directly, you might catch him positioning himself closer to you than necessary, sitting a little nearer, standing just inside your personal space. These are signs of comfort and intimacy. Physical proximity often speaks louder than physical touch itself. If he keeps finding ways to be near you, to close that physical distance without even realizing it, that's a clear sign that he's magnetically pulled in by you. And what makes all of this so telling is that men don't do these things with everyone. They save them, often without realizing, for the person they're drawn to, the woman who's captured their attention, the woman who shifts their energy. If you feel like he's constantly, subtly trying to be physically closer to you or initiate that light, playful contact, he's not just being friendly, he's into you. And his body knows it sometimes before he does. When a man is truly interested in you, he doesn't just hear your words, he remembers them. Not just the major things like where you work or what city you're from. I'm talking about the small, seemingly insignificant details. The kind of things most people forget 2 seconds after you say them. When a guy's into you, those things stick. And they stick because he's not just listening, he's invested. Maybe you mention in passing that your favorite flowers are sunflowers. 2 weeks later, he shows up with them. Not on a date, not for an occasion, just because he remembered. Or you told him once that you had a huge presentation at work on Friday, and Thursday night he texts, "You ready for the big day?" That's not generic politeness. That's a man keeping tabs on what matters to you, because by extension, it matters to him. It's one of the clearest, most honest signs of emotional attraction, mental real estate. When a guy is genuinely into you, you start to take up space in his mind. Your words echo. A little longer, he replays your stories in his head. He notices the way your eyes lit up when you talked about your childhood dog, or how your voice dropped slightly when you mentioned your stress about an upcoming deadline. Those little emotional cues, he catches them and holds on to them. This doesn't mean he's memorizing everything like a robot. It means he's present, engaged, curious. He cares. That's what separates someone who's flirting for attention and someone who's flirting because they feel something. The guy who's just playing the game will listen just enough to respond. The guy who's interested in you listens enough to remember. And what he remembers, he uses. He'll bring up that random book you said you were obsessed with, or that one movie you admitted makes you cry every time. He won't just recall it, he'll reference it at the perfect time in a way that shows you that you were seen, that he was paying attention even when you didn't expect him to be. This kind of memory is also an emotional investment strategy, whether he knows it or not. By remembering your details, he's looking for ways to connect deeper, to stand out, to show that you're not just a momentary blip on his radar, you're someone he's genuinely intrigued by. And he doesn't want to miss a thing. What's really beautiful is that it often comes from a place of admiration. Attraction doesn't just live in how someone looks, it lives in how someone feels about the way you see the world. If he's recalling the tiny things, it means he's fascinated by your mind, your experiences, your uniqueness, and that's where real connection starts. You'll also notice this in the way he follows up. He won't just remember something once, he'll bring it up again. He'll ask, "Hey, how did your sister's move go? Or did you ever get round to trying that coffee shop you mentioned?" These callbacks aren't just kind gestures, they're evidence that he's tracking your life even when he's not in it at that exact moment. It's not flashy, it's not dramatic, but it's powerful. A man who remembers the little things is telling you, without saying it directly, that your words matter, your feelings matter, and you matter. He might not shout his feelings from the rooftop, but his memory does the talking, and it speaks volumes. When a man is genuinely into you, flirtation often shows up in the form of teasing, but not the kind that crosses lines or makes you feel small. This is a playful, light-hearted teasing that's designed to create spark, connection, and most importantly, chemistry. It's not random, it's intentional. He's not just making jokes. He's testing the waters, seeing if you'll play back, seeing if the connection has room to grow. He might mock the way you always order the same drink or give you a hard time about your obsession with a certain TV show. Maybe he playfully challenges your opinions or exaggerates your quirks in a way that makes you roll your eyes but laugh anyway. And if you push back a little, tease him right back, he loves it. Why? Because for him that back and forth isn't just banter. It's intimacy in disguise. This kind of teasing is often a man's version of vulnerability. He's not going to say, "I like you and I want to be close to you" outright. Instead, he'll say something like, "You're such a nerd for liking that," while wearing a smirk that says, "I find it adorable." These little jabs are wrapped in charm. They give you something to laugh about, to remember, and to bond over. But here's the important distinction. The teasing never feels mean. He's not trying to embarrass you. He's not picking at your insecurities. He's not testing your self-worth. He's teasing in a way that draws you in, not pushes you away. If he says something cheeky and then watches you closely to see your reaction, that's a huge tell. He's gauging whether you're laughing with him, whether you're in sync. If he notices you're uncomfortable, he'll dial it back. Because the point isn't to win, the point is to connect. Teasing, when done right, also creates a sense of exclusivity. Think about it. When two people are teasing each other in a room full of people, it forms a kind of private language. It separates the two of you from everyone else. That's powerful. It turns casual interaction into personal connection. You're no longer just a woman in the crowd. You're his person to tease. That level of attention is never random. It's reserved for someone he wants to be close to. You may also notice how he uses these playful moments as emotional checkpoints. He might pretend to disagree with you, only to smile when you stand your ground. He might challenge you to a silly bet or dare just to create a memory. Teasing isn't about putting you down. It's about pulling you closer through shared laughter and light tension. It's about creating a rhythm between you two that no one else is part of. It's a subtle power play, but not in a manipulative way. He's saying, "I see you, I get you, and I want to have fun with you." That kind of energy is magnetic, and it often becomes the very foundation of emotional attraction. Because if you can play together, you can bond. If you can challenge each other without ego, you can trust each other. If you can laugh with each other even while pretending to poke fun, you're laying the groundwork for something much deeper. At the end of the day, his teasing is not just about the jokes. It's about seeing how far the spark goes, seeing if there's tension that feels good, and most of all, seeing if you feel safe enough to laugh, push back, and tease him right back. That's when he knows there's something real, because real connection always starts with play. When a man is truly into you, one of the most revealing behaviors, one he absolutely can't hide, is the way his attention locks in when you speak. In a world full of distractions, where people scroll their phones mid-conversation and nod absent-mindedly without absorbing a word, his full focus is not just rare, it's intentional. It's one of the most powerful forms of flirtation there is, and yet it often goes unnoticed because it's quiet, still present. You'll feel it instantly. When you talk, he listens, not just politely, but deeply. His eyes don't dart around the room. He doesn't glance down at his phone. His body language shifts. He leans in slightly. His eyebrows raise with curiosity. He reacts not only to your words, but to your energy. If you're excited, he mirrors it. If you're frustrated, he tunes in with concern. That level of attunement doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from emotional investment. When a man gives you that kind of focus, what he's really saying is, right now, nothing else is more important than you. Even if there are people around, music playing, or a buzzing atmosphere, his priority is you. He's not just hearing your words, he's absorbing your meaning. He's paying attention to what makes you light up, what you care about, what your values are. And in doing so, he's also imagining how he fits into your world. This attention shows up not just in his eyes, but in the way he responds. He won't interrupt you to talk about himself. Instead, he asks follow-up questions. He wants to know more. He stays with you in the moment, letting the conversation unfold instead of rushing to change the topic. You feel seen, not just looked at, not just admired, but seen on a deeper level. That feeling? That's emotional flirtation. That's the kind of attraction that lasts longer than charm or compliments. He might also remember the emotional tone of your stories. If you mention something difficult or vulnerable, he circles back to it later, not in a way that pries, but in a way that shows he noticed. He doesn't brush past your pain or dismiss your concerns. He holds space for them. And that's a powerful form of intimacy most people overlook. What's even more telling is how he reacts when someone else joins the conversation. You'll often catch him subtly bringing the attention back to you. Maybe he refers to something you just said, or physically turns his body back toward you. He might even become more animated, more engaged, as if your presence gives him a boost. That's because for him, your attention feels like currency. If he can hold it, even in a shared space, he will. Men don't offer this kind of focused attention to just anyone. In fact, a man might be confident, social, even flirtatious with others, but when he's with the woman he's genuinely drawn to, his energy shifts. It softens, slows down. He listens more, talks less. His priority moves from impressing to understanding. And this isn't just about attraction, it's about respect. Because real interest doesn't scream over you, it sits quietly and leans in. It pays attention not just to what you say, but to what you mean. And once a man gives you that kind of attention, you'll feel the difference instantly. Not because he's louder, bolder, or flashier, but because he's fully there. And in a world full of noise, presence is the most seductive behavior of all. When a man is truly into you, he doesn't just react to your presence, he anticipates your needs, sometimes before you even voice them. This is one of the most quietly romantic, deeply telling behaviors he can show. And the truth is, he often doesn't even realize he's doing it. It's instinctive. When a man feels connected to you, his protective, supportive instincts activate. He starts looking out for you, not in a possessive way, but in a way that says, "I've got you." You might notice it in small, subtle gestures. He walks on the side of the sidewalk closest to traffic without making a big deal about it. If you're out together and it's cold, he instinctively offers you his jacket. If you're at a social event, he checks in with you without hovering. If you mention once that you don't like a certain kind of food, you'll never see him suggest it again. These behaviors aren't flashy declarations of love. They're quiet cues of emotional investment. It's his way of showing he's paying attention to you and actively wants to make your world a little easier, safer, more comfortable. Men don't do this with everyone. This type of care isn't casual, it's specific. When he's genuinely interested, he starts thinking 2 steps ahead on your behalf. Did you have a long day? He'll suggest doing something low-key. Are you nervous before something important? He'll text you encouragement before you even ask for it. These aren't grand orchestrated moves. They're the small, thoughtful details that build deep trust. This also shows up in how he adjusts himself for you. If he's out with his friends but knows you're arriving, he'll shift his attention, make space, offer you a seat, introduce you to the group without being told. If you mention you're uncomfortable in a certain setting, he'll do what he can to create comfort, even if it means compromising a little. That's not about trying to impress you. It's about instinctively prioritizing you. You may notice he remembers preferences you barely remember mentioning, how you like your coffee, what kind of music makes you feel calm, or that you don't like loud spaces when you're tired. He files these away not as rules to follow, but as part of knowing you. For a man who's emotionally invested, this kind of understanding becomes part of his connection strategy. He wants to be someone who contributes positively to your experience, not just someone who takes up space in it. Sometimes it's as simple as him being aware of your surroundings when you're together. If he sees you looking uncomfortable, he'll shift the dynamic. If someone is talking over you, he'll redirect the conversation back to you. If you're walking in heels, he slows his pace without being asked. These tiny adjustments are his way of communicating, "I see you and I'm attuned to you." It's not about being a superhero or trying to solve all your problems. It's about emotional attentiveness. When a man is into you, he shows up, not just in the big moments, but in the ordinary ones. He starts to see the world partly through your lens. He wants to know what would make you smile, what would ease your day, what would make you feel safe or seen. And here's the thing, most of this flies under the radar. He's not doing it for applause. He's doing it because something in him is wired to care about your comfort, your happiness, your peace. That kind of energy can't be faked. It's consistent, it's genuine, and it's almost always subconscious. So if you find yourself wondering whether he's really into you, ask yourself this: does he notice what I need before I have to ask for it? If the answer is yes, that's not just interest. That's emotional presence. And in any relationship worth having, that's one of the most powerful foundations you can build on.